All right.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy snow day. How we doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm buried under currently a foot and counting of snow. So that's I saw it's literally the storm is a snow hurricane with potential winds of a category 2. And I was like, so I traded hurricanes for snow hurricanes. I was like, I feel like I did not check that box when I moved. I was like, I was not allowed.
Yeah, Brandy's like, I'm used to hurricane season, but not snow hurricane season. What the hell's going on?
Different beast.
Sounds like a cool experience, though.
I mean, I'm just sitting in my house,
Yeah.
That's
power's out.
Yeah, exactly. The power's out.
I can feel it. It's about to go out any moment.
Yes, it's going to go out at 10:31.
Yeah, 10:31 on the dot. Jamie, how was your weekend? How are you doing?
Oh, it was great. Kids did come back from vacation with their grandparents. Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah, fortunately.
That's the right word. That's the word you were looking for.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good to have them back. We had some good weather on Saturday, and yeah, all good.
How bored were you last week?
So bored. We went out to dinner multiple nights.
Oh my gosh.
I got my taxes already done.
Wow, look at you.
Just doing
taxes
all
in your
things.
free time. That's how you know you're an adult. When you're like, oh, the kids are gone. We have this free time. I can't wait to do my taxes.
Did you use AI for your taxes?
I asked, Claude a lot of questions while I was doing my taxes. Absolutely.
Nice.
I thought about sending in my taxes fully redacted, kind of like some certain other files that maybe have been fully redacted. Just,
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, since the government feels like they could do that to us. Yeah. Anyways,
how about you, Michael? I know you had family in town.
Yeah, brother was in town with his kids last week, so a lot of cousin fun. Had our last basketball game of the year this weekend, so the era of 6 and 7 year olds on the 76ers is over for this season. It was a lot of fun though.
I can't imagine why that would be so exciting for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
How many times did you hear 6, 7?
Yeah.
Less than I thought. I think the kids are tired of it themselves now.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It's good. It runs its course,
Yeah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Well, we have a lot of topics to get into today. Are you guys ready to rock and roll? There was some stuff that happened over the weekend, obviously, that we'll cover as well, some add-on things. But I think start out the top of the show with happy news, right? So congratulations to our friends at Otamiser for securing a $2 million round here. If you haven't met the Otamiser team, I think they're probably one of the cooler startups. No offense to the other startups in the SDR sector, but I think they're one of the cooler ones because they're actually doing something really different from the rest of the technology and optimization categories. So I think they're cool. Shout out to Otamiser.
And we love to see some money coming into the space.
Yeah,
so
100%.
That's great.
Yeah, I also love that they sort of sit on both hotels and short-term rentals. Like they started in the hotels, saw that their platform would work well for short-term rentals as well, especially with the OTAs and
exactly
bridging that gap.
Yeah, exactly. More money in your pocket. That's what we care about. That's what we care about.
We used to cover a lot of funding and M&A on the show, but it hasn't been that wild over the past 6 months or so. So congrats to the team.
Yeah, for real.
Will, you used to have a whole email that went out with all the recent funding rounds. I feel like it would just be the saddest email each month of like, all right, no fundings this month.
Why do you think we stopped doing it? It was like looking around the house for pennies. It was like, come on, is there anything that's received funding? I don't care if it's credit card debt. So yeah, it was getting to that point. But no, it's good to see, like Brandy said, money coming to the space, a good startup. They've been around for a while now, a couple years. I got to interview Bart Jan on Slick Talk, and he's a cool kid, smart guy. Jamie, like you said, the hotel STR hybrid line is always a great approach. So what's the market cap? Yeah, is that the term? A bigger market cap? They got a bigger market to go after? I don't know. Anyways, not as caffeinated this morning, but you guys catch me up on this one because I have my phone off most of the weekend, and so turning on my phone was a little heavy. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on in Mexico?" So Jamie, I want you to hit us with this one if you can.
Yeah, so I'll give the New York Times news alert version of Sunday. It appears that the Mexican government started going after or captured and assassinated one of the cartel leaders, and that has led to a lot of additional violence across Mexico. There's videos from in Puerto Vallarta that of cars on fire and military helicopters sort of going around the coast. So pretty scary stuff for a lot of guests that are both Mexicans and foreign nationals sort of visiting. And there are now travel alerts to essentially shelter in place for people that are there. And yeah, there's a lot of things, and a lot of the football, soccer matches are already canceled. There was supposed to be a game in Guadalajara, that is one of the cities that's hosting the World Cup. So I suspect we're going to see a lot of cancellations over the next 24 to 36 hours, as there is a lot of uncertainty for guests. Probably not a lot of people wanting to fly down into Mexico today or tomorrow. And yeah, I hope this gets resolved quickly, because even the fear factor of you just don't know what is happening can cause people to change their plans, not book even for in the year of like, maybe we'll go somewhere else, and that can have long-term negative implications for a pretty big tourism destination market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Canadians skip over America and go to Mexico this past year. If this continues on, that's not going to happen. So maybe the Canadian islands look great this time of summer. I don't know. The images mixed with a shelter-in-place warning for tourists. We've got spring break right around the corner. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many parents are going to let their high school, college kids go down to Mexico with some of those images around. And I don't know how many college kids want to go do that. And we're probably right there on the cancellation window. So they're going to be, I'm sure AirDNA is going to be tracking the cancellations rigorously. And we look forward to having some data next week, Jamie. Stat of the week coming up. I'm going to guess, I don't know, 30%, 33% for the springtime drop, maybe more.
That's a huge drop.
Yeah. It's a big drop.
Well, I was looking at going to Mexico. I was like, oh, maybe go to Mexico for a week. And now I'm definitely.
I'm going in April. I'm not going to cancel my trip yet. I'll hold off.
Well, cheap rates.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Cheap rates.
Cancellation discounts.
Yeah. And I probably won't be going to Puerto Vallarta. or is that where it was?
Yeah.
I think it was
in several cities.
Yeah. So I definitely won't be going near there. But yeah, it's making my trip to Peru looking a lot better too. So
I mean, we've got a long time before the World Cup, but I mean, some of these power vacuums can percolate for a long time. So we'll be fascinated to track the data, Jamie.
For sure.
I'm here for it.
When he sends it in our private chat, we'll post it on the GMH LinkedIn page. And just want to say good morning to Carlos. Good morning to Terry White, our live viewers. Terry White says domestic travel has a very bright future. And then of course, Steve Turk, one of our GMH co-hosts, says GMH Mexico trip ? I'm sure there are some good rates for us. So I think we're on that same wavelength. That'd be a good trip. I would be down actually. Let's get Skift, Rafit, Jason, you guys down? Just give us a company credit card. We'll do great.
Live reporting on scene.
Live reporting. Yeah. I'll bring my bulletproof vest. Okay, we got a couple topics on Airbnb. So I'm going to say, Brandy, you're up. All right.
My turn.
Your turn. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we've been kicking around the topic of Airbnb and hotels, and, they've already gone into a couple of different markets. I think that this article or, this topic isn't like this isn't crazy. Obviously now they're trying to expand their hotel presence. We were talking off air that it is absolutely crazy that coming out of Brian Chesky's mouth is the phrase Airbnbs are good for some trips and hotels are good for others, basically, to paraphrase, when we're still seeing, the mantra has been so anti-hotel for the last, 10, 15 years. But yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, we've been talking about this, they need a bigger addressable market. Hotels have that. And so, there's been some mixed results on how the hotel pilots are going from like a traveler perspective, as they kind of work out some of those kinks. But yeah, this makes a lot of sense. They need to grow, and these kind of independent or boutique hotels are a logical choice.
Yeah. And it was, I think, a big step for Brian on the call, sort of saying that we're moving beyond the strategy of just filling gaps, and pushing much more into expansionary strategy that hotels are going to be. And then I feel like Glenn Fogel on Booking's earnings call last week actually gave him some great stats to talk. Brian has been very focused. This is going to be a boutique independent hotel strategy, not going after the major chain hotels. Like, this isn't every cookie cutter hotel going to be listed on Airbnb. And Glenn talking about how independent hotels provide the vast majority of Booking.com's room nights, with the 10 largest hotel chains only accounting for low double-digit percentage. And Booking is huge, much bigger company than Airbnb, and much bigger in terms of overall room nights, number of inventory, and just showing that an Airbnb can have huge growth by just going after the independent hotels, especially in some of the US's major cities, especially in Europe, where independence boutiques drive the vast majority of overall lodging bookings.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats, Brian, on the statement of the year. I think it's something that those of us in short-term rentals probably didn't want to say for the first couple of years in the industry, but I think we're all pretty comfortable saying hotels are a lot better in a number of use cases than short-term rentals. It's okay to admit it. That's fine.
It's not a zero-sum game. There's
not a zero-sum game. You travel for different reasons, for different varying lengths of stay, and with different groups of people. So there are instances where hotels are better. Welcome to the club, Brian. Second, expanding the TAM. Obviously, we know Brian listens to the show every week, and he heard us say it over and over again. You've got to expand the TAM, Brian. It can't just be a few cities with just independent hotels. It's got to grow. So thanks for tuning in and listening to us. We'll send a McKinsey style bill over shortly. But lastly, I have a good buddy who used to work at Airbnb, who loves testing all the new stuff Airbnb does. His name will remain redacted. But he was traveling in one of the big cities where Airbnb hotels is, booked a hotel on Airbnb, and checked in. Well, didn't actually check in. Got stopped by the front gate, the front desk agent, and they didn't have his reservation. So reservations are not fully flowing through all of the properties yet. That's okay. Second, the messaging that Airbnb guests are used to doing doesn't go anywhere in hotels yet. They're not set up for it. They're not used to it. They don't have systems like Bestie out there in place to auto respond yet. I'm sure all that's there. It's coming, but they have to have these integrations built out. And it's just a clunky start, but that's okay. We saw Expedia Vrbo go through 2 years of integration challenges. So
3 years, more like
that'll all get worked out. That'll all get worked out, but it's a little clunky today.
So Michael, is this expanding the TAM of all the point solutions for SDRs, like Bestie AI? Are they not going to be able to sell their messaging, AI messaging to all these hotels that now need it?
It's great. It's great for them. Well, they'll need the PMS integrations too. So they've got to go do all of the traditional hotel PMSs, which is just as onerous, if not worse, than short-term rental.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, it's a good expansion of TAM, and just like Otamiser, or however you pronounce
Otamiser.
it.
Yeah.
Otamiser.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to be servicing hotels and short-term rentals to have a big enough TAM in the short-term rental space, the travel space, for venture capital or strategic funding. So,
well, a lot of investors too, they start with an Airbnb or two, and I say Airbnb as a short-term rental, and then they get into hotels after their portfolio gets big enough, and they buy a couple of boutiques. Like a lot of our friends have done this. So yeah, that's kind of the natural progression.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like in this article from Skift, one of the hotel like pictures of a listing is a Hampton Inn by Hilton. And I'm like, but I think you'll see I think there'll be less resistance from the hotels than maybe you might think on the surface. I think anyone wants more eyeballs on their property.
Yeah. And not a shameless plug, but I was recording with Dennis Shaw a couple weeks ago, end of January. Yeah. And we were going over the session of Rafit and Brian on at Skift Global Forum, and the topic of hotels came up, and I asked him a question. I was like, do you think really hotels is just filling in the gaps, or is it going to be bigger? And his take for our new podcast, it was hotels is definitely going to be a bigger share for them than just filling in the gaps. So I think Jamie's statement in the beginning definitely ties it up well. But continuing on this Airbnb trend here, they're also testing out loyalty, which is a topic that we've talked about on the show a couple times in terms of, is it a paid like Prime membership loyalty? Is it a points loyalty membership? What kind of membership structure or loyalty structure would they do? And so they're doing some tests. Dennis Shaw reported and said, or Chesky says, that the program could be massive accelerant for the company. So who's ready?
Okay, I have a question for the group. If this was like a membership style where you're paying a monthly or annual fee, would you actually do it? Because I'm a pretty like frequent user of Airbnb for travel, but I don't think I would pay for a membership. Like it's not, if I'm not traveling every month and using it, like if I have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 trips a year, I don't know if that's like worth a membership fee, but that's my opinion.
It depends on how much. If it's $5, sure. $5 a month, I'll do it. Can't like take my money. I don't care. If I use it one time, then it's probably worth it. But if I would say that would be the only use case I would pay.
Nothing in this world costs $5 anymore, Will.
Hey, I rented a movie over the weekend that was $3.99. So
yeah, but so I'll bite Brandy and say like, think about when Amazon was released, like we all like started buying stuff and it was like, oh, $125 for Amazon Prime. Why would I ever pay to be a member of Amazon? And then you start seeing like how many times you're getting packages and like, oh, wouldn't it be great if just everything was free delivery? And then all of a sudden, like, who's a Prime member? You're a Prime member. I'm a Prime member. We're all Prime members. So now think like Airbnb. So we only do like maybe 2 or 3 trips on Airbnb a year. It's like, maybe not worth it. But then you think like, oh, they're now going to have all the hotels on there. Like, all right, now that takes it 10, maybe 12 trips a year. Now they've got experiences and services. Maybe like Uber, I'm going to be booking more and more of those experiences and services. I'm using it for meal delivery. I'm using it for planning things like friends to have a private chef come and cook, and like getting all these additional benefits for things I'm using on a day-to-day basis. Like I could see maybe a year or two, like an Airbnb loyalty membership program could be something. And if they do it right, if they have all the combined services that are a big piece of what I could be using on a day-to-day basis.
It might not surprise anybody, but I might take the opposite stance from Jamie here. Marriott can control things like upgrades or free breakfasts or dinners, spa, whatever. Airbnb can't control that. So they don't actually own the brand or the properties or the services. So I think that's where their biggest challenge is. Unless they're really, really creative with their loyalty system, and they're really creative typically, I don't know if this is really going to move the needle.
And for one, their Hotel Tonight loyalty program is already creative in that it's 10% cash back. That is more than double the loyalty value I get from any other hotel program. And then you take that cash and then give it to me for my meal delivery or give it to me for something else. Cash is a big deal in loyalty, or at least perceived value of what you earn.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'll use Seth Borko, our head of research. I'll use his line on loyalty. Right now, travelers are mercenaries trapped by convenience when it comes to loyalty. So they are not really loyal to any brand. They're just trapped by convenience, by the point system. So I would say, to Brian's point of view or perspective on creating a new loyalty program that isn't based on points, maybe it's not based on Amazon membership, they have to get creative. They do have to get creative. They do have to make sure that the experience is controlled in some shape or form, whether it's through the experience private chef / cashback in your wallet. I would take the cash probably any day compared to the experience or whatever type of maybe discount they can control on their end. But yeah, they got to come up with something different, because right now the whole hotel loyalty program is truly you've created all the travelers to become mercenaries that are just trapped by convenience. So shout out to Seth Borko for that quote.
And then I do think we sort of buried the lead in the article that Dennis wrote. So Brian talked about how they're testing components of loyalty programs. One of the ones that we've all seen in the wild that was talked about here was around allowing hosts to offer discounts for super guests, or those guests that have really high review scores from other hosts. So they're experienced guests. You sort of know you're going to get a good guest coming into your property, and where you can put in 10, 20, 30% discounts for those guests and then rank higher on the page rank. And maybe this is part of a loyalty program or not, but I do like that in Airbnb, and we know Airbnb already factors price into page rank. So this test, I think, is a good one of making it really clear to hosts that there's a relationship between discounting and visibility, making that clear. And if they see some real positive tests, that they could sort of evolve this into something bigger.
Well, I think that, putting on my operator hat again, now this is just another way that operators are subsidizing good things for Airbnb. Like, it would be a different thing if Airbnb was like, oh, you completed 30 stays, here's, 30% off that Airbnb is paying, like the Airbnb is giving to the guest, not the host, because that is what's happening here. And I think that that's where a lot of the host pushback comes from. Like, I don't want to keep stacking different discounts onto my listing,
but that's what discount programs are, right? On booking.com.
Oh yeah.
Like, and the how many genius discounts or loyalty benefits are you providing? You go and then look at what booking's charging you, like, wow, I just paid 30% for that booking. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's, we used to go through with our account rep at Booking and be like, she's like, you could try all these promotion stuff. We're like, no. They're like, the cost then what we actually make is nothing. It's so expensive to be on this platform. Like, we can choose one of these and try it at a time, or different ones on different listings, but we're not going to stack up so that people can get a 30 or 40% discount on booking.com. That's crazy, So that's kind of, this isn't just like a fling at Airbnb. It's like, this is like the nature of these discounting programs. Let's let these OTAs that are sitting on their massive piles of cash, why don't they give the guests some money? And it all just flows through normally to the host.
I'm with Brandy.
The streets.
Let's get everybody going.
It's absolutely not going to happen, but I mean, it's hard when you look at the amount of cash that they're all sitting on, and they're like, actually, but you host, you subsidize these guests,
Yeah, and I like what John just commented on LinkedIn. He said, on Michael Goldin's point of loyalty, they actually would have a chance if hosts benefit from the experience. If Airbnb keeps trying to keep all the upsell or all the money from the discount, then it's not going to succeed. So 100%. I think we need to take it to the streets, grab your pitchforks, grab your knives, grab everything, grab the torches, and let's hit Airbnb's HQ right tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm perhaps the fire in my brandy rants against Airbnb has somewhat dimmed, but this is more just like let's see if there's an actual, like a more creative way to have a loyalty program that really is good for both sides. Agreed.
All right. Well, good discussion there on that topic. And then, Terry White also says, "Amen, Brandy. It's 100% supplier funded." Mm-hmm. So, amen. You got the choir singing. This next topic. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take this next one. We haven't talked about AI yet. We're 26 minutes in.
I was just about to say that.
We made it so hard.
Here we are. Sabre is trying to shift towards an AI native future. Anyone that knows the GDSs knows the green screens of the GDSs are far from AI native. So welcome to the trend, Sabre. They're using that a bit as a way to shield some layoffs that they've just done. But we talked about it pre-show a little bit, and Jamie's a very smart man. Business travel, corporate travel, Expedia's earnings, particularly on the B2B, are super, super strong. And so the GDSs, they just have to kind of figure out a way to navigate into the 21st century, leveraging better tech and better AI. And it appears the future can be bright for anyone in the B2B segment, travel agents, business travel. Jamie, any more thoughts?
And for me, this is sort of more keeping an eye out on in the tech industry, our tech players for hotels and short-term rentals. Like, how much are they going to be able to do more with less? Like, this to me looks more like they think they can get as much or more done with fewer employees because of AI sort of accelerating productivity than it is a massive change in Sabre's business strategy.
Yeah. This is the first real hospitality travel tech company to do this. We saw what is the software that everyone uses. Anyways, there's a CRM software that everyone uses that I can't, Mark Benioff's company. Why am I drawing a blank? Salesforce. Yes. Thank you, Jamie. So like Salesforce and a bunch of those tech companies have done this layoff with the implications that AI is streamlining their operations, or they're able to build faster and better tech through AI and not needing as many engineers. So this does kind of give me like a weird caution signal, right? Like, okay, Sabre is pretty old. The GDSs are pretty old. They're finally catching up, or at least trying to. So this for me could show signs that like maybe there's gonna be some more companies following suit.
The agents maybe were built for the green screen.
Yeah, true.
One of the quotes in here says, I think, or Sabre is emerging as an AI growth company within travel. And I'm like, I feel like you're like a little late to the party.
Yeah.
Like if you're not investing in AI, especially if you're a software company, like that's just what is happening. That doesn't make you kind of like revolutionary. It reads as a little bit like caught behind the ball a bit. Like, and so we'll see if they can do it.
Mainframe to AI is a big step.
Yeah.
But we'll see if they can do something truly revolutionary. They seem to think that the market doesn't value Sabre, those similar companies appropriately. So I guess
they hold a ton of data. So that's the one thing. Yeah. If they could do this properly, the data they're sitting on is pure. It's worth more than oil. I'll just say that. So they could really utilize their data properly. It'll be pretty crazy, I can imagine, especially if they use it right. So, congrats for finally catching up, Sabre. And I think there's been a lot of welcomes and congratulations on this episode with Goldin giving out welcomes left and right. But Sweet. Great episode. I know we had another story around Tripadvisor, but running on time and being mindful of that. What do you guys got going on this week? Brandreth Canaley, what's going on?
Well, I guess I'll be digging myself out of the snow. Honestly, I'm paying for a covered garage spot worth every penny. Some of my friends were like, you'd be fine with street parking. And this winter, I'm like, I'm glad I have a garage. But I'm actually going to New York again next weekend for my sister's 30th. So big kind of New York party weekend coming up. I'm already tired. But I will be showing up with more energy on Friday.
I'm tired for you, Brandy.
Yeah.
How about you, Goldin?
Nothing new here. Same old, chipping away.
Lovely. Jamie?
I'll take one out of Michael's playbook of haven't been traveling a lot lately and won't be for the near future. So same old. Working on some big projects here at Airbnb, but we'll see. Just grinding.
We'll get that sneak peek eventually. One day. Well, nothing new for me either. Just a busy week of work. Going to the mountains this weekend. Finally, the first weekend of 2026 to start getting back at it after I've definitely gotten out of shape. So really excited. Can't wait to suffer this weekend. It's going to be great. Well, for all of our live viewers, we appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Terry White. Shout out to Steve Turk. Shout out to John On. And of course, anyone who is listening on the replay, we appreciate you guys. As always, we'll see you next week. Don't miss out on this Wednesday's Hotel Crew episode as well. And like always, excuse me, see you next week.